Hey guys, Quacker Spooks here with another set of NFL predictions. This time it's week 8. So tonight we have the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Los Angeles Rams. The Vikings ended up losing to the Detroit Lions, so they are no longer undefeated. They're 5-1. And as for the Rams, they are 2-4. I have picked the Minnesota Vikings over the LA Rams. I'm going to pick the Vikings over the Rams, so that would put them at 6-1, and the Rams at 2-5. Also, there are no bye weeks this week, so every team is going to play this week. So there will be 16 games this week. So this is game number 1. So this is the Vikings and the Rams. I am picking Minnesota. The Green Bay Packers take on the Jacksonville Jaguars, who recently won in London. They're currently 2-5. The Packers are 5-2, and they just beat the Houston Texans. So I'm going to pick the Green Bay Packers to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars here. So this would put them at 2-6, and the Green Bay Packers will be 6-2. So a pretty good start to the season for them. So plus, they have had pretty much one of the easiest schedules you can see on them for an NFC North team. The NFC North is actually pretty good this year. I could totally see every team making the playoffs in the NFC North, but I don't see. But I'm going to go with the Packers over the Jaguars. This will put them at 6-2, and the Jags will be 2-6. And this will probably cost Doug Peterson his job. The Arizona Cardinals take on the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to go with the Cardinals for this game. The Dolphins are atrocious, and we all know that. And as for the Cardinals, they just beat the LA Chargers on Monday night because the Chargers can't run the ball, and Teair Tart decided to fumble the ball on a fumble recovery. So, that's just peak Chargers at that point. But as for the Cardinals, this would put them at 4-4, which is kind of interesting that they would start 4-4 this year. And as for the Miami Dolphins, this puts them at 2-5. They lost to the Indianapolis Colts last week, so this would put them at 2-5. But I am going with the Arizona Cardinals. The New York Jets take on the New England Patriots. I'm going to go with the Jets. I know the Jets are trash. The Patriots are even worse. And, I don't think Drake May is NFL ready at the moment. But, he looks good. He's definitely not a bad quarterback. It's just they need an offense. They have no offense. They have no defense. They got rid of everybody. And they just can't play competent football. They just gave Gerard Mayo a team with no talent. So, and as for the Jets, yeah, they're 2-5. So, anyways, I'm going to pick the New York Jets over the Patriots. This puts them at 3-5, and the Patriots will be 1-7. So yeah, not a good season for New England. The Baltimore Ravens take on the Cleveland Browns. I am going to go with the Baltimore Ravens here. They have won 5 straight games, and they are looking to beat the Browns, who just lost Deshaun Watson to an Achilles injury. And as for the Ravens, Yeah, the Ravens are going to run all over them. Derrick Henry is going to run all over the Cleveland defense. There's a reason the Browns are 1-6 right now. And it's also because of Deshaun Watson, but because, no offensive structure. Kevin Stefanski's probably going to be fired at the end of the year. And, yeah. And the Ravens are the much better team here. So they have a much better, I don't know. But I am picking the Ravens. This will be their 6th straight win. This would put them at 6-2. And as for the Cleveland Browns, they will be 1-7. The Philadelphia Eagles take on the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to go with the Eagles here. I know the Bengals have won 2 straight games so far, and they're 3-4. But I don't think they can beat the Philadelphia Eagles here in Cincinnati. So I am going with the Eagles. This would put them at 5-2. And for the Cincinnati Bengals, this puts them at 3-5. The Bengals haven't had a bye week yet, so it's the Eagles are 5-2. The Eagles will be 5-2, and for the Bengals, they will be 3-5. Not a good start off to the year, but I think the Bengals can bounce back and at least try and make the playoffs, but I don't know I don't know why the Bengals have lost 4 games so far. But it's entirely possible that the Bengals do beat the Eagles, but I am picking the Philadelphia Eagles. The Indianapolis Colts take on the Houston Texans. I am going with the Houston Texans. They are coming off a loss against Green Bay, and the Colts, they're coming off a win against Miami. So the Texans are also at home, so I think they have that advantage. And also, they're the better team. They are not. The Colts are just bad. So this puts them. This puts the Colts at 4-4, and the Texans will be 6-2. So, and I know I haven't gotten every single prediction correct in a week, but I was almost close to it. But that was that 13-1 week where I think it was like week 6. So, anyways, I'm picking the Texans over the Colts. This puts them at 6-2, and the Colts 4-4. The Tennessee Titans take on the Detroit Lions. I'm going with the Lions here. I do not think that the Titans are in any way good. They're currently 1-5, and even after their bye week, they're still losing. And they just lost DeAndre Hopkins to the Chiefs. So, losing one of those weapons isn't really going to do them any good. So, I'm going to pick the Detroit Lions. This puts them at, Lions have already had a bye week, right? Yeah. So, this puts them at 6-1. And the Titans 1-6. So, I'm picking the Detroit Lions here. The Atlanta Falcons take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going with the Bucs here. They are currently 4-3, coming off a loss to the Baltimore Ravens. These teams are both coming off of losses, to the Seahawks and the Ravens, respectfully. So, yeah, I'm going to pick the Bucks. This will put them on top of the division at 5-3. So, and as for the Falcons, they'll be 4-4. I'm going with the Bucks. The New Orleans Saints take on the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm going to go with the Chargers. The Saints have lost 5 straight games, and I thought that they could beat the Denver Broncos last week, but that clearly was not the case on Thursday night. The Saints are just bad. Like 2-5. Their record shows it, but the way they play, they are just bad. Dennis Allen's on the hot seat. Dennis Allen is not going to make the Saints succeed. Saints haven't been relevant since Sean Payton left. Just saying. And as for the Chargers, they have 0 run game. So, this is going to be a shit show. But, at the same time, I'm going to pick the LA Chargers. This puts them at 4-3. And as for the Saints, this puts them at 2-6. They're just bad. I don't know how this team started 2-0 on the year and have lost 6 straight games. Or 5 straight games. But I am going with the Los Angeles Chargers. The Buffalo Bills take on the Seattle Seahawks. I am going to go with the Bills here. The Seahawks are coming off a big win against the Atlanta Falcons, and the Bills are coming off a big win against the Titans. So, I'm going to pick the Bills here, since the Seahawks have been really, really inconsistent. This puts them at 4-4, and as for the Buffalo Bills, this puts them at 6-2. With the win. So, but I am going to go with the Bills. The Seahawks. The Seahawks have just been really inconsistent. So, it really isn't a pretty sight to see. So, I'm going with the Bills over the Seahawks. The Chicago Bears take on the Washington Commanders. I am going to go with the Commanders here. I know Jaden Daniels hasn't been practicing because of his rib injury, but Marcus Mariota played extremely well against the Carolina Panthers. And it's him versus Caleb Williams. It's probably going to be Marcus Mariota that's starting because Jaden Daniels is dealing with the rib injury. So it's not going to be the number 1 pick versus the number 2 pick this time around. But I'm going to go with the Commanders. This will put them at 6-2. Yeah, because I think they lost one of the games. Lost a recent game. And it wasn't to the Panthers. I think it was the Week 6 game. I forget who that was. But I forget who they played Week 6. But they lost to that game. So yeah, this will put them at 6-2. The Bears, coming off a crucial bye week, I think are 3-3. So this would put them at 3-4. I think they're 3-3. Let me check. Oh, they're 4-2. Never mind. So that puts them at 4-3. Yeah. So I'm picking the Washington Commanders. The Kansas City Chiefs take on the Las Vegas Raiders. The Chiefs are the only undefeated team in the league. So, yes, I'm going to pick my Kansas City Chiefs. And the Raiders are just bad. I think they're going to start Gardner Minshew again. Because AOC is dealing with something. Not Aiden O'Connell. It's Aiden O'Connell. But Gardner Minshew is probably going to start. And he has been really inconsistent for the Raiders. He hasn't been good for the Raiders at all. So this puts them at 2-6, and the Chiefs will be 7-0. So we'll stay undefeated here. The Carolina Panthers take on the Denver Broncos. I'm going with the Broncos. Because why would I pick the Carolina Panthers to win at anything? They're currently 1-6, and this won't be a good game either, but, crazier things have happened. The Panthers have lost to the Panthers have beaten the Las Vegas Raiders. So, but I am going to go with the Denver Broncos over the Carolina Panthers. But this would put them at 5-3, and the Carolina Panthers will be 1-7. Yeah, 1-7. So we're starting to see who the bottom feeders of the league are this year. Sunday night, we get the Dallas Cowboys taking on the San Francisco 49ers. I'm actually going to go with the upset. I'm going to go with the Cowboys. Because even though that they lost to the Detroit Lions the last week, in week 6, because last week they were on a bye, I think that they can upset the 3-4 San Francisco 49ers. And I think, considering how many injuries they've had, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. So, I don't think that they're going to defend their NFC title. So, anyways, I am going with the Dallas Cowboys. They'll be 4-3, and the Niners will be 3-5. So that puts them at, yeah. And then last but not least, actually, yes, this is least, but the New York Giants take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I am going to go with the Steelers. The last time these two teams met was on a Monday night in 2020. So, and that was week 1 during the COVID year. And the Steelers ended up winning that game because they ended up going 11-0 that year. Well, starting 11-0, but they lost and they finished the year 1-4. But the Steelers are much different now than they were, 4 years ago. They're currently 5-2, and they just beat the New York Jets. They're going to beat the New York Giants here because Daniel Jones is not a good quarterback. It's probably going to be Russell Wilson to start for the Steelers versus Justin Fields. Justin Fields has been really good. And also, Russell Wilson was cooking on Sunday night, too. So, anyways, I'm picking the Steelers. They'll be 6-2, and the Giants will be 2-6. So, anyways, that is it for my predictions for Week 8. We'll see you guys in the next video on Halloween when we cover Week 9.